JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 28th of January 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, just to see how everything is getting along today. But yeah, as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, let me just quickly jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is the German index, the DAX, and you can see that the index is pushing today back up, or at least trying to make its way higher. However, it still remains in negative territory for today. However, as you can see, initially when I talked about this one, and I have mentioned this one, guys, to you this morning, basically what I was saying here, that if the index falls further below this 13,566 territory, then yes, we could go further. It opened today near this other target that I had, the 13,442. I was aiming for that level, and what I was saying then this morning was that if it breaks, then my next target is this 100-day EMA shown as the green line. However, although we had a very close kind of encounter, I would say, with this this upside line here, but with this EMA here, but on the opposite happened. Basically, I mean, it traveled lower, but it didn't really reach that area and started reversing sharply to the upside. So it seems that a bit of risk on here, risk on environment is kind of getting back into the market. We're seeing this nice reversal. However, although we are seeing this nice reversal, still, guys, be very careful. Be very careful near this 13,672, 73 territory, or near this 21-day EMA, because if all this area somehow provides good resistance, then basically we'll get ourselves a nice curved up move lower here. So keep that in mind. For now, this is exactly the scenario that I'm going to consider. So although we could see maybe this one pushing a little bit higher here, maybe towards this 13,673 territory or this 21-day EMA, if it fails to push above it, then yep, another slide here could be possible. So keep that in mind. Now, jumping into Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, yesterday we saw the index drifting heavily to the downside. So apologies, guys, for that. So we saw the index drifting heavily to the downside, and yep, it broke below this upside support line drawn from the low of the 12th of November. And well, I mean, looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the price is actually traveling back to that 30,500 level. So it's not far from here, but basically it's currently sitting near this upside line here. So kind of, I would even say, bang on this upside line. So if by any chance the index is able today to get back above this upside line and stay here above it, then maybe it could increase the chances for this index maybe to travel higher again. However, I would, from my side here, I would prefer to see this index popping back above this 30,793 territory, which previously acted as a nice area of support. Now it could take the role of resistance, and it also coincides with the 21-day EMA. So if we see the daily candle today staying and closing above this area, then I'll start looking at the upside again. However, if it fails to do so, let's say if the index trades somewhere in this little territory right here above this upside line but below the 21-day EMA, then I'll take a neutral stand. I'll take a neutral stand and wait for kind of a more clear indication of where it wants to go after that. So however, if the index starts dropping below this 30,207 territory marked by the low of yesterday, now that's where it could become very interesting for more sellers, because a forthcoming lower low here would be confirmed on a break, and then lower levels could be met. So one of the levels that I'm going to consider after will be, of course, this 29,882 zone, or this other here, this other support territory near the 29,755 level, and then I'll take it from there. Similar story here with the S&P 500. However, it's kind of further below this upside line here, which, to be honest, is a bit of a tentative one. I do admit that. The cash index currently is trading near the 3,779 zone, so kind of roughly around here somewhere, so still below the 21-day EMA. If the index struggles to get back above this 21-day EMA, then, well, maybe another slide here could be possible. If you want to be a little bit more on the safe side, you could wait for a drop below yesterday's low near the 3,732 zone, because, as again, a similar story as with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a nice good drop below that area will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. Basically, for now, guys, we are keeping an eye on this one. It's a very interesting moment right now, because, again, either this will be seen as a as just a temporary little correction here, and let's say today and tomorrow this could reverse and push higher again, or we'll see a nice continuation move to the downside. Again, the continuation move will be considered still as a temporary correction, because let's not forget that maybe overall here, if we draw something like this, guys, just bear with me one moment here. There we go. So this upside line here, this upside line, this is still in play, and we cannot really ignore that. So you can see that although even if we see this index drifting a little bit lower here, if it stays somewhere above this upside line drawn from the low of the 23rd of March of last year, then there is still a chance for the bulls to step in and push this one back to the upside. However, if this upside line gets broken, then well, maybe we could start looking at some lower areas here, guys. So, oh, by the way, I can see there's a comment in the chat box. So Eugenio Rodriguez, hello to you. I mean, I'm sorry, no hablo español, so lo siento. So yes, sorry guys, something that I need to practice still a little bit more, but anyway, thank you very much for the comment. So coming back to the indices, and this one's a dollar index, which is slightly reversing to the downside. However, we are still above this 21-day EMA, and we're trading still here near this level here, this 90.60 territory that I talked about previously. And basically on the good side, on the positive side, yes, we are still kind of hanging above it. If it continues to trade above it, then yep, that's still great. We could see this one reversing maybe back to the upside. However, again, with the upside, as I mentioned before, be very careful with this downside line drawn from the high of the 23rd of March, because in a way it still kind of dictates the current trend. It shows the current trend. So, but if that gets broken somehow, well, I mean, this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. So keep that in mind. Jumping into silver here, and silver is popping nicely to the upside here, as you can see. So basically that's what I was saying, guys, previously, and this is what I keep talking all the time when I'm saying that wait for that daily candle to end and stay either above a certain level or below a certain level. And here, for example, in this situation, we had can you see my screen? There we go, guys. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. It went black a little bit here on my side. However, here, for example, with the with silver here, what I was saying previously, that in order to get a little bit more excited with either the upside or the downside, a certain level, or I should say, the daily candle should remain either above or below a certain level. And here in this situation, for me to consider the upside, I needed to see a nice, first of all, a nice good pop above this 25.90 level, and then I would actually, in order to get a little bit more excited with further advances, let's say, I would need to see this commodity kind of staying above this 25.90 level at least, and then my next target will be this 26.60 zone, which, as you can see, marks the inside swing low here of 6th of January, and then we'll take it from there. For now, everything's looking quite positive here. However, be very careful, and be very careful because with the DXY as well, because if suddenly DXY decides to reverse back up here, then maybe, well, not maybe, but it will have its negative effect here on silver, and we could see this one dropping back down below this 25.90 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. If it somehow ends the day here below this 25.90 level, well, then we'll have a very beautiful false breakout here, which could lead to some lower areas here, because again, a strong move like this, and then if it retraces back down and remains below this hurdle, below this key resistance area, then maybe that shows that not everything is good in the bull block. For now, everything seems to be fine there. So let's see if the daily candle can stay above this 25.90 level. Now, jumping into a few other instruments here, the Bitcoin Cash. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but nevertheless, well, I mean, you can see that yesterday it slid, it drifted below this hurdle right here, the low of the 22nd of January. It created a new low for January, hitting the 369.50 territory, roughly around here. From here today, the crypto is rebounding back above this the low of the 22nd of January, and it's pushing above this 391.60 territory. So, however, either way you want to look at it, still we're still trading below this downside line drawn from the high of the 10th of January, and in a way, even if it pushes a little bit higher here but fails to break this downside line, then another slide here could be possible. Of course, also what you should keep an eye on here, of course, is this upside line right here. And let me just put this one on the chart here. So this upside line is drawn from the low of the 23rd of September. So in a way, if you want to take a look at it this way, that it does have enough room here still to go and revisit this upside line, then yes, lower levels here could be met. But if you want to be a little bit more on the safe side, wait for a drop below this 369.50 territory. This way, the crypto will confirm a forthcoming lower low, and further declines could be possible. Also, don't forget what I kept saying with other cryptos when I was saying about the monthly candles here. So look at this beautiful move here we had on the monthly candle. You can see that, look at the spike here, kind of traveling all the way here towards this. Let me just put this one on the chart very quickly, and there we go, traveling all the way towards this 631 territory, and now it's kind of back to this kind of the area near the 400 level. So basically lost around 200 points, guys. I mean, now that's a decent decline, decent retracement. The big question for me here is how this monthly candle will shape up, because we have still a few days left of trading here in January, but will we see further decline lines that could lead, let's say for example here, the crypto towards this 21-day EMA, which is roughly around the 360 zone here. Well, I mean, let's wait and see. Let's not over speculate on this too much. So for now, basically coming back to the daily chart, let's see first of all if it stays today above this 391 territory, 391.60 zone here. Then I'll maybe consider a bit of a maybe larger correction to the upside. However, it stays below it, well, maybe we're still not done with the downside. Jumping into AUD CAD very quickly here. So this one is an interesting one because, as you can see, it came very close today, or actually it came not very close, but it actually tested the 0.9775 territory I spoke about previously, and it even broke below it. However, we're seeing a strong reversal back up here, and the most important, back above the 21-day EMA. Now, don't get me wrong, the day's not finished yet. My question here is, of course, can we see another push higher? Given that we're still trading below this short-term downside line drawn from the high of the 7th of January, I'll be very careful. I'll be very, very careful with this one. Well, because to be honest, I mean, I would prefer, in order to consider the upside, of course, I would prefer to see a push above this 0.9851 territory right here, and then kind of go for some higher levels. Until then, I'm just going to observe this one because we're still very close to this 0.9775 territory. And to be honest, if the whole, and if the kind of the whole idea that if the markets turn to risk off again, well, I mean, we could see Australian dollar declining, and not only against the Canadian dollar, but also against some other instruments. Oh, by the way, I can see there's a question here from Klaus. So in terms of Litecoin, guys, I mean, I'll pick up on Litecoin tomorrow in my Traders Espresso because I need to go through these very quickly. I have limited time, unfortunately, guys, so I do apologize for that. But you can also check out my previous videos where I've covered Litecoin. Yep, so maybe that could help for you as well, guys. So this morning, by the way, I've did in my Traders Espresso, I've covered Litecoin, so you can definitely check out that video as well. But I'll pick up on Litecoin tomorrow morning as well. But coming back to the pairs here, AUD CAD, yep, for now, basically, I'm just watching the game here, and I'm keeping an eye on this 0.9775 territory, because as I said, if the markets certainly reversed to risk-off environment, then, well, I mean, we could see risk kind of commodity-linked currencies like Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar drifting to the downside again. USD CAD, very quickly on this one. So initially we had a break. Today we had a break of this downside line finally. However, as you can see, the weakness in the US dollar is kind of kicking in here into this pair, and yep, basically for now we're kind of back to the same idea, watching this downside line, because in a way we need that daily candle staying above this downside line before kind of considering some higher levels. We're not really getting that yet, so again, let's see how today's day is going to play out. If we get another jump here in the US dollar, maybe, just maybe, will be enough to bring this one and keep this pair above this downside line. But for now, again, it's not really happening. This downside line, once again, is providing decent resistance. So until we get that break and we get that daily candle staying above this downside line, we cannot really kind of get comfortable with higher levels. And that's why I do have this this arrow drawn like this. GBP CHF. So GBP CHF pushing a little bit higher here. However, I'm still sticking to the idea that I've mentioned to you guys this morning of seeing, and well, actually from the beginning of this week as well, I'll keep talking about this one, of seeing here a possible rising wedge pattern, which of course tends to break to the downside. However, until we get that break, we cannot really aim for lower levels. Because as you can see, we keep testing the lower side of this rising wedge, and we keep rebounding from it. So that's why let's be a little bit more on the safe side, guys. Wait it out, and yep, and then we could go for maybe some lower areas. But for now, in order to kind of, let's let me rephrase that a little bit. For now, as long as it stays inside the pattern, there is still a good chance this could continue kind of pushing higher. However, with the upside, as I mentioned previously, we do have these strong obstacles here, these strong levels of resistance. But guys, if by any chance this pair pops heavily to the upside here and moves above the highest point of June of 2020, which is roughly around the 1.2260 zone right here, now that's where it could become very, very interesting for more buyers. So keep that in mind. And finally, EURUSD. So now the pair is reversing back to the upside. However, I'm remaining neutral on this one because, as I mentioned to you previously, guys, for me to well, actually, let's start from the beginning, actually, because initially when I said that if we see a drop below this 1.2130 zone, then yes, I'll aim for the 1.2059 territory right here, which once again proved itself to be a very nice area of support. And as you can see, why this morning, today actually, we saw a reversal again to the upside. But that doesn't mean that this is going to continue, or I should say it could continue being a strong area of support. For now, it's a bit of a tricky one here because we keep kind of trading near this 21-day EMA, and it's kind of a no man's game here. So if you want to look at some higher levels, well, at least wait for a push above the 1.2190 level right here, marked near the high of the 22nd of January. But if you want to look at some lower areas, well, I mean, still the same game plan remains. The 1.2059 area is the one to keep an eye on, because a nice good drop, a strong move below this, and if the daily candle also stays below it, then and doesn't form a false breakout, then yes, lower levels could be met, where my next target is the 100-day EMA here, which is around the 1.1970 zone, or this 1.1924 territory marked near the lows of the November 30th and December 1st. For the upside, a push above the 1.2190 zone here could open the door back towards the highest point of January near the 1.2350 zone. And to be honest, we have around, well, we have 2 days left of trading here, so including this one, so I doubt that we will have a strong jump, you know, that could bring the pair back to the highest point, the current highest point of January. So in a way, this level here might stay like this. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out, guys. I hope that I'll have to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you very much for joining in and watching this one till the end. Thank you very much for your likes, for your comments. I do really appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much for that. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Trader's Espresso, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. Klaus, yes, I will pick up on Litecoin and a few other instruments, and then we'll take it from there, guys. So have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.